Welcome everyone to today's TDL Forum and happy almost spring to everybody. My name is Christy Park and I'm the Executive Director of the TDL. I'm so glad that you have all joined us today. As I welcome you to this shared virtual space, I want to first acknowledge the physical spaces from which we're all joining, all located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, the ancestral name for what now is called North America. The TDL staff works fully remotely, and we all join from our own different places in Texas and elsewhere. I, along with several TDL staff members, joined from Austin and the Central Texas area, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their forcible removal. I also want to welcome you all by reaffirming TDL's commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. This commitment is codified in our strategic plan and core to our organizational values. You can see our statement of commitment to these values from our most recent strategic plan on the slide here. I want to especially reaffirm this commitment today in light of the Texas governor's and attorney general's recent actions to single out trans children and their families and expose them to the threat of state violence and intimidation. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the potential impact of these actions and to remind you that TDL supports and affirms the gender identities and expressions of all folks in our communities. We stand in solidarity with folks directly impacted by these actions. And we, at the very minimum, hope to provide professional spaces for everyone within our sphere that are inclusive and welcoming and respectful. You are welcome here. Here's our agenda for today. It follows the usual pattern. After some updates from me, we'll report out highlights on services and projects, followed by a few community updates. You'll be hearing from me, as well as our Deputy Director, Courtney Muma, our DPLA Service Coordinator, Elliot Williams, and our Communications Manager, Leah DeForest. So, first off, I want to make sure our community is aware of this opportunity to support cultural heritage organizations in Ukraine that has been making the rounds the past few weeks. Saving Ukrainian Cultural Heritage Online, or SUCHO, is a group of cultural heritage professionals, including librarians, archivists, researchers, programmers, etc., who are working together to identify and archive at-risk sites, digital content, and data in Ukrainian cultural heritage institutions while the country is under attack. They are using a combination of technologies to crawl and archive sites and content, and they're also trying to collect information on related initiatives. So if you have expertise or time or information that would be helpful and that you're willing to share with them, we hope you'll do that. We're going to share a link in chat where you can learn more about this project and some ways to get involved if you're interested. And now for some really awesome, great news to share. We are thrilled to give all of you the opportunity to welcome our newest full member of the TDL Consortium, the University of Dallas. University of Dallas, as you probably know, is a leading Catholic university widely recognized for academic excellence, and it offers graduate and undergraduate programs from its gorgeous mid-century campus in Irving, Texas, in the Dallas area. We are really excited to have begun working with the team at Cowan Blakely Memorial Library, which is led by Raina Williams, Director and Associate Dean. We're working closely with Zana Buck, their Special Collections and Archives librarian, to migrate their repository currently in a hosted proprietary solution to open source community supported DSpace. That migration work is well underway. Nick Woodward, our senior software engineer and DSpace tech lead, is leading that work. And we're going to be excited to share the site with you in May when it's completed. We're also just excited for you all to get to know Raina and Xana, and also Debbie Hathaway, their acquisitions and collections development librarian there, in our DSpace community and our broader TDL community, and to welcome Raina to our member board. Every time we welcome a new member, it adds strength, new perspective, and new energy to our consortium. And we can already tell this partnership is going to be a great one. So I don't know if we have any folks from University of Dallas in attendance today. I can't see my participant list anymore, but if you're out there, we're really excited to have you as part of the TDL community, and know that our members are going to benefit from having you. All right. Finally, before we move on to service and project updates, I wanted to share a few updates from our most recent governing board meeting, which met late last month. I'll start by taking a minute to remind all of us who our governing board is and what they do. We have a couple of different boards. Our member board is composed of the administrative heads from each library. That's a full member of TDL. That group meets once a year. It elects a certain number of representatives to serve on the governing board, which provides the strategic direction and oversight for TDL. In addition to the elected members of the governing board, our 4 founding members have permanent seats on the board. That's University of Houston, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and UT Austin. Courtney and I also sit on the board as ex officio non-voting members. So our current board is pictured here. This is a screenshot from our meeting. We have one person, I think, missing from this shot, Julie Mospo Balestro from Texas A&M Libraries. She had to step out for a minute during the meeting, and lucky her, missed the photo. But it's a really wonderful group. We do a number of things at these meetings. We meet twice yearly. And at this particular meeting, we welcomed a new board member, Dean Hendricks, pictured there on the top left of the screenshot. Dean is the Vice Provost and University Librarian at UT San Antonio. We're excited to have him on the board. We'll share a link in chat where you can see a full list of our member and governing board rosters. We also named a new vice chair and chair-elect. That will be Diane Bruxfort, Dean of Libraries at the University of North Texas. She's pictured there on the bottom left. Diane will take on the duties of chair after the current chair's tenure ends in the fall. Our current board chair is Lorraine Harricombe, the Vice Provost and Director of Libraries at UT Austin. So at each meeting, TDL delivers a financial report and budget outlook. The board approved our budget for next fiscal year 2023 at this meeting. We provided the board with updates on some of our strategic investments, which the board approved last spring. Those are investments that we're making using TDL's cash reserve in several areas, including on accessibility audits and remediation of our hosted services, open source software consulting, supporting our DPLA metadata aggregation service, which we've made great strides on through the hiring of our new staff member, Elliot Williams, and our work to plan for an ACRL diversity residency in digital libraries. That's a position that we're working on developing right now with our planning committee, in which we hope to post sometime next month. So more on that coming soon. We also asked our governing board to review and provide feedback on a revised version of our anti-racism action plan, which we published first last year. They're commenting on it and reviewing it through the end of this month. And then we will, at the next TDL forum, share it with all of you and ask you to provide comments on it so that we can have a final updated version of that plan to share out with the community at TCDL in May. Once our board meeting minutes are approved, we'll share them in our TDL repository. They're not there yet, but Leah's going to share a link where you can view past board meeting materials. And as always, you're welcome to contact me if you have any questions about any information that you find there. Okay, so we'll move into some updates on services next, and I'll take off my director hat and put on my service management hat here and talk a little bit about our digital repository hosting and journal hosting services. So with repository hosting, Nick Woodward, our DSpace tech lead, is currently leading work to migrate all of our hosted DSpace repositories to a new operating system within the Amazon cloud. We've been in communication with all of our repository managers about this maintenance, which started last week, and it will continue through mid-April. You can read more about the process and the schedule of migrations at the link that Leo will provide in chat. I also want to remind our DSpace users that the next meeting of the DSpace user group is Tuesday, March 29th at 10 a.m. This is rescheduled from our usual fourth Tuesday of the month, so make sure you have the right date on your calendars. The featured discussion topic for that meeting is using DSpace to collect and share open educational resources. Moving on to our open access journal hosting, I'll share a few things here. First off, Nick Woodward just completed last month the migration of a journal sponsored by Arizona State Libraries called Borrowers and Lenders, the Journal of Shakespeare and Appropriation. That journal was previously hosted by Georgia Tech Libraries, but is now published in partnership with the Arizona Center for Medieval and Renaissance Studies at ASU. Leah will share a link to that new TDL journal in chat. We have also had applications for several new journal sites over the past month, which is always great to see. 2 of those have been approved for launch and deployed. Those are one called Case Studies in Strategic Communications, sponsored by UT Austin Libraries. Another is Abolitionist Perspectives in Social Work, sponsored by U of H Libraries. Third, our technical staff are doing some preparatory work right now for upgrades of our hosted journals to OJS 3.3 later in the spring. Those are scheduled right now for just after TCDL, so May, June timeframe. That's pending the completion of the DSpace maintenance that I just talked about. We will keep you updated on the scheduling of that work through this forum and email, and also in our OGS user group meetings. Speaking of which, our next user group meeting is April 7th at 10 a.m. We have a working group that's formed under Justin White, the user group chair from UTRGV. That group has formed to develop a template for library publishing agreements that each member institution will be able to use to communicate and establish roles and responsibilities with their journal editorial teams. That group is meeting next week to begin that work, so we're excited to see what comes of that and to share it out with the community. I think Leah's pasting some links into chat with info about our user group meetings and all the other stuff I just covered. So we hope you can join those meetings if you're interested, and please let me know if you have any questions. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Courtney.
Howdy, thank you, Christy. So first I'm going to start with a service update about digital preservation to let you all know that I'll be teaching a short TLA workshop for the Digital Libraries Roundtable of the Texas Library Association on Monday of TLA's pre-conference. That's April 25th. The workshop is called Digital Preservation Demystified. That might be overpromising, but I'll be sharing strategies to get focused and get started doing digital preservation at a level that works for your institution. While we're there at TLA, TDL is also going to try to host an early evening gathering of members, and we'll figure out what location and day that's going to be. Nick Woodward lives in the area as well, so Nick and I will be there for sure, hosting on behalf of TDL. So again, that workshop is for the April 25th on the pre-conference day, and it is a $50 cost, and that goes to the Digital Libraries Roundtable. I also have a Vireo update, just a real quick briefing that 2 institutions are now live on Vireo 4. I know Frank Smutniak, our developer, is extremely happy about that. So congratulations to Sam Houston State University and UT Southwest Med. Coming up next are Texas Tech, TWU, UTRGV, ASU, and West Texas A&M. And in the chat, Leo will post, or already has posted, some information about registration for the TLA conference and also the full schedule for the conference, which is the winter issue for the Texas Library Journal. So I've also got a couple of updates for you from Research Data Management and the Carpentries. The TDR Steering Committee is currently conducting its Texas Data Repository User Survey, which closes March 22nd. And they really hope to gather extensive data to help improve liaison services, and we'll be releasing the results of that once we've had the opportunity to review them afterwards. Also, our 2 contractors that we hired are working on an upgrade to 5.10 for the Dataverse as we speak. They're also helping us implement our digital preservation backend, which will send new published data sets to Chronopolis biannually. Finally, please attend the TexCarp meeting, the Texas Carpentries meeting on March 28th. If you have interest in training to be an instructor, hosting, or attending a workshop. While TDL is a bronze member until October, there are still many opportunities for discounts on instructor training for all of the Carpentries offerings, and to host an in-person or virtual workshop with Carpentries instructors. So now I'll hand off to Elliot to share a few updates about our DPLA aggregation service.
Thanks, Courtney. Hey, everyone. My name is Elliot Williams. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm TDL's DPLA Metadata Aggregation Service Coordinator. I wanted to provide just a quick recap of the Digital Collections Love-In event that we hosted last month. It was, I think, a great success. I had a great time. During the Love-In, 15 people shared their favorite digital collections and digital exhibits from their libraries. And I learned a ton from it and had, a great time hearing from folks around the state. The sites that people shared included everything from mermaids to lunar research to Texas musicians and maps and yearbooks and podcasts and just a ton more. I was really inspired by hearing the range of things that institutions are doing with their digital repositories, the links between collections at different places, and the enthusiasm and support that our community has for celebrating their colleagues' work. I posted a blog post recapping the event, which we'll put a link for in the chat, as well as a recording of the Love-In. If you missed the event or you want to explore some amazing digital collections, I hope you'll check those links out. TDL is definitely hoping to do more events like this in the future, so be on the lookout for that. And if you have ideas for what you'd like to see at the next Love-In, please let me know. I also wanted to mention that I've started reaching out directly to TDL's members about our DPLA aggregation service, including some of you who I know are here today. So you may have received emails from me, and if you haven't yet, it's very possible you may in the near future. And I'm really looking forward to chatting with our members and staff at our various institutions, learning more about your digital collections programs and sharing information about DPLA and metadata aggregation through TDL. So as always, if you or anyone at your institution would like to talk about DPLA aggregation, please get in touch with me and I'd love to talk with you about it. So next up, we have some updates from TDL's members, partners, and friends. And I actually have the first update this month. So outside of my work at TDL, I'm part of a group of alumni of the University of Texas School of Information who are raising money to create an endowed scholarship for Black, Indigenous, and people of color students at the iSchool. We started this effort in direct response to a petition by iSchool students in 2020 calling for more efforts to support racial justice at the iSchool. And we see this scholarship as a tangible way we can give back and promote greater diversity in the library and archives professions. We're really close to meeting our goal of raising $50,000 by the end of this month. We only need to raise $12,000 more to create an endowed scholarship that will be awarded every year into the future. Donations are tax deductible and are made through the Texas X's alumni organization. And so if you're interested and feel called to support, I'd really appreciate any donations, no matter what size, as well as helping us spread the word about the scholarship. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Leah for more updates.
Thanks, Elliot, for that. And also just thanks so much for your work on that scholarship. I'm so proud of that work and double proud as an alum, and I definitely plan to donate to this. This is huge. So hi, everyone. This is Leah DeForest. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the communications manager with Texas Digital Library. I'm really glad you all could join us today. We thought we'd have a lighter crowd because of spring break, but y'all showed up. Maybe that's bad because you had to work. I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, so we are really excited about this webinar. We have seen such a great response to our registration for the Intro to Accessible AV webinar, which is scheduled for the end of this month on March 30th. So this webinar is going to be the first of a multi-part series, which will present the basics of improving the accessibility of digital audio and video collection materials hosted in archives and libraries' digital repositories. So if you attend, and we will record these, by the way, but you will gain a deeper understanding of the many benefits and beyond simply satisfying the legal basics and legal requirements of providing alternative media such as captions, transcripts, and other accessibility remediations. And so these presenters will demystify key concepts and share common approaches and practical first steps to adapting the accessibility of digital, which means digitized and born digital, AV holdings, as well as discussing strategies for making the business case for accessibility. So I'm personally looking forward to learning alongside you as fellow TDL members share their expertise in this area. And I want to thank Emily Vinson of the University of Houston, William Hicks of the University of North Texas, and Daniel Jacobs of UT Austin for leading this webinar and lending their expertise. And next up, so an OER related announcement, all members of Texas Digital Library are invited to take advantage of this free training through the Open Education Network. Pub 101 is a free, informal online orientation to open textbook publishing. And you'll hear from colleagues from around the nation who have worked on open textbook publishing projects and what they've learned. After completing Pub 101, you would be eligible to be invited to join the Publishing Cooperative for ongoing support and benefits. So I know some of you out there are really ramping up your OER publishing efforts. Some of you are even starting press books. And so this would be a great opportunity to just get a lay of the land and kind of get some sure footing as you embark working with your faculty and other librarians. This course of Pub 101, it's designed for librarians, it's designed for instructional designers, and really anyone else who would be supporting authors in writing and publishing an open textbook. And it focuses on what's involved in supporting and managing a publishing project or program, rather than how to write a textbook or use a particular publishing platform. So it's really broad. It's not just related to OEN, it's not just related to Pressbooks, but something you can take with you to any platform you're working with. And I think we've already shared links in chat where you can learn more and register. And please let me know if you have any questions about Pub 101 before registering. Okay, everybody's favorite conference. So we're just a few months away from welcoming everyone to our favorite annual conference, Texas Conference on Digital Libraries. TCDL is going to be fully virtual again this year and run May 23rd through 26th. And our conference committee, which is really pretty amazing, is cooking up activities outside of the usual conference fare that relate to our 2022 theme of digital juggling, which is selected in honor of all of the juggling you do at home, at work, and in life. And so just wanted to let you know, for those of you who had submitted your proposals, these are under review. Hopefully you received an email from me saying, hey, we needed a little extra time. And we also want you to know that the TDL Awards nominations are also under review. And with the conference proposals, we do hope to have a note to you, or with an acceptance, or maybe if we've accepted you or asked you to change your presentation type, We hope to have notification to you by the end of this month or early April. And with the awards nominations, it'll likely be mid-April when we're able to get those notifications out. Also want to remind you that our registration is open. We offer discounted registration for members, any students or retirees. We have a free registration option to anyone who wants to take advantage of that. And particularly if you don't have any institutional funding to attend. Courtney dropped some links in the chat, thank you. And just a quick reminder to anyone out there from UT Austin, we have a special separate registration process for you. So let me know if you need to get that link. And lastly, we have a bunch of member group meetings upon us and want you to make sure you can join us if you can. I'll drop some links in chat where you can learn more and sign up, but I want to reiterate the change in date for the DSpace user group that is meeting at the same time, but on a different day, Tuesday, March 29th. This month and next, we have our regular kind of long-standing recurring meetings, but want to share that we're really excited to host Reed Beam, the Research Data Management Librarian at the University of Houston. She'll be a guest speaker for the April 28th Research Integrity Working Group meeting. So before I hand things back to Christy, I'm going to drop a few links in chat where you can learn more. And we also have calendar invites where you can download and host those on your own calendar if you plan to attend. And let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Leah and Elliot and Courtney for those updates. We had a lot to tell you today. We're right at the end of the hour, but we do have a minute. If you have any questions or announcements, things you want to share with the TDL community, feel free to do that in chat or unmute yourself and feel free to share. I'm not seeing any typing. John wants to welcome Sam Houston State to the Vireo 4 Club. That's awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to welcoming many, many more folks to the Vireo 4 Club in the near future. We're really excited that that's happening.
Yeah, Frank brought his kids early home from spring break to get back to it. So
awesome. Well,
that was for slightly other reasons, but
okay.
Sure.
Not to make it seem less exciting. So.
Well, listen. If there aren't any other questions, we'll let you get back to your days, but just want to say how good it is to see everybody here and wish you all a great spring break if you are on spring break this week, and look forward to seeing you the next time we see you. Thanks, everybody.